Today, President Trump signed the Senate bill to restore funding to the U.S. Coast Guard and other parts of the Department of Homeland Security. But some are still without funding. I'll tell you which coming up.
A crucial hearing ahead of Larry Millette's murder trial, what the judge ruled today.
How you can dance your way to help Emmy fight leukemia.
President Trump signs a bill to end a partial government shutdown, but it almost came at the cost of national security. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. The Coast Guard was just hours away from a funding crisis, but tonight that bullet has been dodged. News 8's Alex Cheney joins us live with those details. Alex?
Yeah, it was really close to a really terrible situation for the U.S. Coast Guard. But President Trump did sign that Senate bill just after 3 o'clock today, which restores funding to most of the Department of Homeland Security that's been without funding for 76 days, dating back to about February 14th. So a big day out there on Capitol Hill. It comes after the Trump administration had warned that temporary funds to pay TSA workers and other DHS personnel would soon run out, which includes the U.S. Coast Guard, which is actually the only military branch not to be in the Department of Defense. Coast Guard Commandant Kevin Lundy told CBS News in an exclusive interview that the Coast Guard owes over $300 million in unpaid obligations, with thousands of utility bills overdue, totaling $5.2 million. Duty stations and military housing situations were in flux worldwide, but now they should receive the funding that they need. It's going to start to put the Coast Guard back on track.
This will relieve pressure from the Department of Homeland Security. Secretary Mullen, who I've spoken to in the last couple of hours, will be greatly relieved. The president will, the administration will. We were not going to have lines at TSA. Everybody will get their paychecks now. We'll get moving forward.
Now, the bill does not fund ICE and Border Patrol, which Democrats refuse to support unless there were changes to those agencies. Instead, Republicans plan to fund those departments through a budget reconciliation process that does not need the support of Senate Democrats. And earlier today, I did reach out to the local branch, San Diego, of the U.S. Coast Guard for any sort of comment or anything they've been struggling with during the shutdown. They forwarded my request over to Washington, D.C. and the National Coast Guard. Reporting live, I'm Alex Cheney, News 8. Back over to you.
Thank you, Alex. The price of gasoline here in San Diego County is at its highest since early October 2023. According to AAA, the average price for a gallon of regular increased more than 2 cents overnight to $6.06, 18 cents higher than what we were paying a week ago and well over $1.25 more than what we were paying before the war with Iran began. And remember, we are working for you, helping you to find the least expensive gas prices in San Diego. Just text the word gas to the number on your screen, 858-571-8888. And we will send you a link with a map to the lowest prices. California's climate fight is now a fight over your gas prices.
State leaders are clashing over the Cap and Invest program, which was just extended to 2045, and how changes to it could hit drivers at the pump.
News 8 State Matters political reporter Jenny Hubb breaks down the details for us. Jenny.
There are stark differences between what environmental groups and the petroleum industry want for California's clean energy future, but the differences among state leaders are louder now, too.
We all want clean energy. We all want long-term stability, but families are hurting right now. They're hurting to pay for gas, to pay for groceries.
This is Republican State Senator Suzette Martinez Valadares. She says more in-state drilling and refining will make California energy independent. Just last week, she and the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus sent a letter to state energy leaders saying they're concerned about the unclear future of California fuel supply.
And what I understand my colleagues are asking for, pretty much asking to stay the course. And the course that we're on is not working when it comes to affordability for families.
This is about foreign wars and what ships decide to do. Do they take a turn and go back to Korea or China to sell that gasoline or come to our port? So I just want us as independent from that as possible.
And this is Democratic State Senator Henry Stern. He says that independence comes from a quicker transition to clean energy and lessening reliance on foreign oil imports. He and more than 20 other legislators also sent a letter to state energy leaders arguing speeding progress towards state 2030 emissions target of emissions 40% below 1990 levels will provide lasting relief for pain at the pump.
The problem solvers aren't wrong to be raising the alarm about all these issues.
So state leaders agree on energy independence, especially amid uncontrollable global uncertainties like the war in Iran. The disagreement is how we get there. Driving the debate is the California Air Resources Board's amendments to its Cap and Invest program, which allows polluters to pay for credit, called allowances, to continue operations and uses revenue as consumer rebates. The proposed January amendments, in part fewer permits for higher fees, sparked strong backlash from California's remaining refineries, with multiple threatening to pull out of state.
Cost goes up for industry and cost goes up for working people.
In response, CARB amended its amendment. Roughly 118 million pollution permits that were set to be eliminated would instead go to a reserve fund, which businesses could pull from if they invest in decarbonization efforts.
We must support the ability to do business in California while still delivering statutorily required emissions reductions.
Hey, if you're making the investments, we'll be there to match you to decarbonize, right? We're not going to let this stuff happen elsewhere. We want investment in this state.
The concern now over the updated amendment is prolonged reliance on fossil fuels and fears California's 2030 and zero emissions by 2045 goals won't be met.
I just worry if we change the rules of the game right in the middle of it, that's going to throw a lot of people off.
The public comment period for the new amendments has been extended to May 4th, and CARB Chair Lauren Sanchez will be testifying during a Senate hearing next week. CARB will formally take up the proposal on May 28th. Jenny Ha, News 8.
Thanks, Jenny. We have an update tonight from residents in Ocean Beach on a story we first brought to you last night. Residents told us the vans that were parked in front of their homes for more than a week left around midnight and haven't returned since. After several Get It Done requests went unanswered, they reached out to us here at News 8. Working for you, we spoke with San Diego police about the vans violating the 72-hour law. Neighbors now say they are talking with officers and OB's policy advisor to talk about possible enforcement changes. A South Bay judge is denying a request to recuse the entire prosecution team ahead of the upcoming Larry Millette murder trial.
That trial is scheduled to begin May 11th. News 8's Shannon Handy shares more on what happened inside the courtroom today.
Today, a hearing was held regarding a request made by Larry Millette's defense team to recuse the entire DA's office from this case. They claim misconduct, but a judge ruled there's no evidence of that. It's been more than 5 years since Maya Millette went missing from her Chula Vista home. Though her body has never been found, her husband, Larry Millette, was ultimately charged with her murder.
Please still help us, continue to support us.
News 8 has spoken with Maya's sister countless times since then. She's long fought for justice as the case has dragged on for years. The result of today's hearing could have pushed it back even further. This is file video from previous court hearings. Recently, a judge ruled cameras can no longer be in the courtroom. This afternoon, a hearing was held to decide whether or not the San Diego District Attorney's Office should be taken off the case and have the State Attorney General's office take over instead. Millette's defense attorneys alleged prosecutorial misconduct, claiming Deputy DA Christy Bowles elicited false testimony during the preliminary hearing, did not correct one of her own detectives who allegedly lied on the stand, and had too much personal investment in the case. Specifically, the defense noted the DA's office detective testified Maya had an affair that ended several months before her disappearance, noting the detective had information proving otherwise. The DA's office filed a 26-page response refuting all allegations. In court today, one of their attorneys gave a fiery argument saying she believes this is a personal attack. After more than an hour, the judge ruled in the prosecution's favor, saying there's no evidence of misconduct, which would indicate Millette won't get a fair trial. His ruling comes just one day after a big blow to the defense team's strategy. The judge ruled that the defense may not argue to the jury that if Maya is dead, the coworker she was having an affair with could be responsible. Maya's sister was outside the courtroom. She was advised to stay outside since she is a witness in this case. She told me she is happy about the judge's decision because she doesn't want to see this trial dragged on for any longer. Right now, the trial is set to begin on May 11th. Reporting from Chula Vista, I'm Shannon Handy for News 8.
Thanks, Shannon. Today, San Diego County reaffirmed its commitment to preventing gun violence. Supervisor Monica Montgomery Stepp recommended an annual investment of $250,000 to expand the No Shots Fired program into Spring Valley. Through it, community partners share outreach and support services, giving people an opportunity to transition out of gang culture.
Public safety is not just about enforcement. It is about prevention, connection, and community. It is about making sure every person in every neighborhood feels safe where they live. In Spring Valley.
Since it launched in 2021, No Shots Fired has provided more than 750 outreach activities and more than 330 gang disruptions or interruptions. A spectacular sight is set to grace San Diego's coast this weekend.
Those details are still ahead. Plus, the Church of Scientology is at the center of a viral trend it says is a crime. But the people behind the so-called speed running say it comes with a purpose.
And a San Diego beacon of hope is getting a new name and a new mission to help families in their darkest hours.
And kind of a cool and cloudy day. Certainly hope you enjoyed it, but take a look at tomorrow. We have a whole lot of sunshine headed our way for Friday and Saturday, and then a pretty big cool down, even looking at some rain chances come Tuesday. More cloud coverage tonight. Keep it here for your full forecast.